Hey guys, it's Godbars here, the self-proclaimed hip-hop historian, and this is the 362nd episode of my series, where I grab a vinyl from my collection, talk about why I love it, what influence it has, and what its place is in the grand scheme of hip-hop. So this wasn't planned consciously, but much like my previous upload, today we have an iconic, longtime duo who's appeared twice before on the page, and in this case that's Eric Sermon and Parrish Smith of EPMD, who initially popped up on the page in my starting set of Golden Age classics, where I chose their seminal 1988 debut, Strictly Business, as one of the first 5 releases from the 80s to get a review. So I'll leave a link for that down below in the description, along with the other album I've covered from these guys, which is sort of a sleeper pick, but personally for me it's one of my go-to records when it comes to this veteran duo and their output, and that's 1990s Business as Usual. I definitely still need to grab their killer 1989 sophomore album Unfinished Business, as it arguably has a higher classic status than both of the albums I've chosen to cover before it, but as unpopular of an opinion as it may be, I would personally probably say their 1997 reunion project here, Back in Business, is my third favorite release in their extensive discography, even though I feel like it tends to get a bit overlooked. I do think most fans would agree that this was the last great EPMD album, because both 1999's Out of Business and 2013's We Mean Business aren't quite able to hold a candle to the earlier work, and while I highly enjoy 1992's Business Never Personal, which was the last LP before they took their 5-year hiatus, largely due to the internal drama between Eric and Parrish, which I broke down in both my previous reviews for the duo, I have a bit of a soft spot for their return effort here, because not only were these talented MCs arguably at their peak lyrically, but Eric Sermon delivers one of the cleanest sets of instrumentals to come out of his prolific discography as a producer. The most obvious example of this is definitely the iconic beat for "Da Joint," the lead single that Eric and Parrish cooked up for Back in Business, which will be instantly recognizable to virtually any hip-hop head out there, as it's another one of those go-to instrumentals for freestyles and cyphers, and even though it has more of an old-school Golden Age feel, it still manages to sonically feel just as timeless as the more modern moments. This is also one of the most diverse projects that EPMD has to offer, because they go from that rugged boom bap style I was just talking about to super funky, stink face inducing records like Never Seen Before, which is one track I knew I would have to bring up in this video, because as dope as this song is, there's actually a remix that shows up towards the end of the LP, and it just so happens to be my favorite beat Eric Sermon has ever put together, and that's saying a lot with his background. They keep the same verses on this rendition, which is pretty typical for these types of songs, though it isn't as common to not have any featured artists on your remix, though in this case I imagine they came to the conclusion that it wasn't really necessary. And I would have to agree, because the serene, mesmerizing, and one-of-a-kind beat changes the feel and vibe of the original so drastically that despite the fact their lines are basically being copy and pasted from the predecessor, they're given a completely new context here. And I always think it's kind of dope when verses that weren't even written for a particular beat end up working better over that instrumental than the one they were originally conceived for. I want to share the first verse from both of these tight-ends on Never Seen Before, since they switch off relatively quickly and only have a handful of lines each in this opening section, but I still love the performances from both legends here, and their top-tier penmanship mixed with a masterful command of flow makes it one of the many standout moments lyrically on Back in Business. E starts us off on this one using his trademark, insanely recognizable voice as a vehicle to deliver his killer bars, which he kicks off with, "They go ooh and ah when I jump from my car, people treat me like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. When I'm supreme rap star, they all know me, ED. When I flash the greens on TV, MCs be robbing me of my technique, the way I speak, the way I get down, the way I sound. And if you ask me, they must be on the jock of the innovator. Rock, roll, bounce to skater." Then, without missing a beat, Parrish takes the mic, and comes in rapping, "Okay, fuck it. Enough with the tight shit, grab the mic quick. Hollywood rappers, put it down, spit some hype shit." EPMD, Eric and Parrish making dollars. With the rap scholars, keep the show packed like funeral parlors. Deadly, murderous, I know you heard of us. Holding shit down on the block, nobody serving us. The E double and Mike Doc, Boondocks. Def jams off the meter, yo, this shit is hot. While Eric Sermon had a hand in every single beat on this LP, he did actually have a few co-producers who assisted on certain instrumentals, including Agala, Rockwilder, Parrish, and DJ Scratch, who was basically considered as EPMD's honorary third member. As for guest appearances here, while they're pretty few and far between, we do get a small group of features on Back in Business, which include affiliates like Nocturnal, Keith Murray, Redman, and DOS Effects. When it comes down to my overall top 3 favorites on this one, I think I would have to go with Never Seen Before Remix, DeJoint, and Richter Scale, but I definitely still want to make some recommendations as honorable mentions, including tracks like You Gots to Chill 97, Put On, Dungeon Master, Last Man Standing, Get With This, KIM, and Jane 5. Thank you for watching my 360-second video. Next time we have yet another act who's making their third appearance on the page, except this time it's a trio from here in California. So tune in for that one, and if you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know what moments you think aged the best from this stellar reunion album. Don't forget to have a great day, and I'll see you next time, okay? Alright.